That's always an interesting question. What kind of career did? I'm always, oddly enough, I'm always amazed when I get something really wonderful like this, an honour like this. It surprises me constantly. But, so I'm not quite sure how it got to this point. It just catches me by surprise sometimes. You know, you're taking a breath and you think, I don't know what I've done that is particularly special, that deserves this attention. But I can only assume that I have done something that has caused that. My parents loved the theatre. My father was a clergyman, so really it's same business, different department, you know. But they both loved the theatre, and what they couldn't quite understand is that one of theirs could be one of them. That was just one bridge too many. They couldn't quite get that one. And also, of course, I was born at the beginning of the war, so by the time I was getting to the sort of stage where I was deciding what I was going to do with my life, the things that were really pressing in those days was respectability and security, and they didn't feel that the acting profession provided either of those. So therefore I did the only other thing that I was good at, and that was painting, and I went to art school. Now you may well say there's nothing particularly respectable about that. And well, there'd be moments in my life that I would have considered myself to be an introvert. There are moments in my life I would consider myself to be an extrovert. And I think there are moments now that I'm sometimes introverted and sometimes extroverted. I don't know that one exists in a state of one or the other. I think we're more complicated creatures than that. They're nothing secure. But on the other hand, I could have been a teacher. Now, to be a teacher was both of those things. So that was basically the reason. But they weren't against. They loved the theatre. So I think that many of the finest actors that I've come across have been seriously introverted and not at all happy as a gregarious being. But and many very good actors also have been extremely gregarious and very, very extroverted. Olivier, when he was asked why he wanted to act, he said, "I can't think of a better way of showing off." So, which is rather different from, shall we say, the method actor's more introverted understanding of soul-searching and finding more out about himself or herself. Well, it was a tough movie to make. A very long makeup, a 7-hour makeup. We got it down to 7 hours. I'd say it started off at nearly 12. We got it down to 7. So it was physically a tough movie to make. It was a fantastic crew. I can remember David Lynch saying, "Can you tell me what your voice is going to sound like?" And I said, "Oh no, I couldn't possibly." He said, "What? But I need to know. What are you going to sound like?" And I couldn't tell him because, frankly, I didn't know. So I didn't quite know how things would fall into place. But it was not preconceived in any sense, and I think it was, for once in my life, or not for once in my life, one of those times in my life, I allowed things just to happen, and it all kind of happened organically. And it wasn't preconsidered. I didn't spend endless hours worrying over it or anything like that. Well, I mean, acting in itself takes an emotional toll, and it's to a degree. But I mean, don't let me overplay the cards, because you know, as one director said to me before I went on the first night, he said, "Don't forget, it's what you always told your mother you wanted to do." So, I mean, that you do have to remember. This is what I've always wanted to do. So, whatever the toll is, it's not as bad as somebody understanding it from a point of view who did not want to do it. Do you see what I mean? To me, somebody who has got a first-class degree in mathematics, I am completely baffled by their brilliance. And I'm baffled by musicians' brilliance too, because I don't have that gift. But to me, to act is the obvious thing to do. I mean, I could argue both sides. I could argue the George C. Scott side, saying this nation has become a nation of award seekers and I want no part of it. I could argue that. But on the other hand, I could well argue the fact that awards are something which the audience gets a great deal of a buzz out of, really, because they want things to be showered on people that they think have given them something, or given them something in life, given them an experience, or given them whether it be a comedy, a huge amount of pleasure or whatever, They want to see that happen, and that's fair enough. I think the maxim that perhaps Ralph Richardson put forward, which was many years ago, is that he said, he was talking about pride, and then he said, but anyway, I'd been given what he called a prize. He didn't call them awards, he called them a prize. He said, but anyway, he said, I'm going to paddle in a puddle of pride for the rest of tonight. And I think that's, in a way, is probably the way to look at it. It is something which is, you should be really, and I am absolutely always thrilled if anybody should go to the lengths of offering you such a prize, such an award. But I don't think you should let it go to your head. But I mean, if we're not making, like yesterday, we were here in Washington, which is probably not a normal day insofar as that I'm not usually in Washington. But my wife and I got up and we decided to go to a couple of museums, and it was a nice day. We walked there, it was wonderful. We went round a couple of museums, had a very good time. We didn't have any lunch yesterday particularly, I think, because we thought we'd keep that till we had some dinner later. And I think I had to do an interview at 5 o'clock for the Washington Post, so we got back there and did that. We read quite a bit, normally we do. And then we found a wonderful restaurant called the Oval Room, which we went to in the evening, which topped everything off. It was terrific. That was, it's those sort of things. They're nothing particularly spectacular or special, I suppose. I'm about to start doing a television 6-part series, called Last of the Panthers, which is Last of the Panthers, meaning the Pink Panthers. The Pink Panthers was, if you remember, the heists of and this is starts off with a heist, which then leads into something else. It's actually very, very interesting format, and it's not really a format. It's a very unusual way of covering quite a lot of different areas, and I'm looking forward to it. Yeah.